I knew I couldn't get a job with what I wanted to do, making music. At the time, I don't think there was a lot of jobs available for someone that wants to make music unless you work for radio, I think, maybe as a content producer or something like that. But then, yeah, I wanted to make music, and I don't think the record labels were signing people like myself as producers, So starting a record label or starting a studio, that was like the best thing I could do at the time. I mean, it's a bit of a weird story because Raw X Studio didn't just start with this place here. I took it from a company I used to have with a couple of other guys. Was used to call Raw Execution Promotions. So they quit all that, they gave up on it, then I ran with the name and said, I'm going to go into the music side, because I was always into the music side. So I was like, you know what, since the Raw Execution is kind of registered, I'm just going to call it Raw X. I mean, the first room I had was just in the same house. I just had a room where I recorded most of Motswako Originator there. Then by the time we recorded Lost in Time, we were here. So there was no official opening, it was just like a step-by-step thing. Raw Execution, right now, as it stands for, it's just raw talent and with the X Factor. So that's anybody with that is available. It's invited to the Raw X Studios to come work, pretty much. Yeah, the guys I used to work with back in the day, people like Bo Oots, Eli, maybe even Reason, but Reason was there, but probably later on. But I think Oots, Nick from Greenhouse, rest in peace. Those guys, any of those guys could have been the first ones. I mean, I always have to say Lost in Time, just because of the post achievement of the album since we released it. I mean, it came at a very, it wasn't as confusing as now, but then for South Africans, we didn't know what hip hop was for South Africa, so we were still trying to kind of put our foot in here, trying to understand it from a Soweto point of view, from a Motswako point of view, from a Joburg point of view, trying to make it into one. So that album for us was something that we trying to capture all those things and make into a solid South African thing, And when we came out with Lost in Time and the reaction to it, and with Tswada and so forth, that really kind of jump-started everything for me, and just the whole Raw X situation started making sense to me and everybody around me. Khuli just came in here, he wanted to rap. He said, dude, I'm just stressed, I just want to rap. Give me a beat that just forces people to rap, nothing else, I'm like, okay, I think I got something. Played that, he did what he did. AKA came in, he heard it, he's like, fuck, that's your fucking hit. 2 weeks later, we kind of complete it into a song, and that's how it kind of came together. So, yeah, it was never a plan of, yo, we got this beat, it's going to be a hit, it's already sounding like it. I mean, there's no way you could have planned for that to be a hit, just listening to it. There's no way. It's very hard, man. I think the last time that happened was things like Wu-Tang, Killer Bee, something like that. I think that was the last time a song like that, where it's so underground but it's mainstream in reaction to it, So yeah, well, I was very proud of that. Lost in Time, Khuli Chana, AK, Alter Ego, all of Cash Time stuff, when Cash Time was Cash Time, from KO, My E, Kid X's early stuff, I mean his debut EP, the Reason stuff, a lot of some of the Cape Town guy stuff, like the Uno Julys and the When They Say Ill Skill stuff, 3 Months Scarp, Double HP, rest in peace, some of Pro stuff. There's a lot, like there's a lot. Some of them are singles, some of them are just small projects, but a lot of these artists consistently came back to record here. So there's a lot of projects. Can't remember some of the names, but there's a lot. There's a couple of projects. Yippee-ki-yay, because these are just my ones. Then there's a whole lot of other ones from other producers. Man, my brain is a bit fried right now. Let me think. Man, all those albums though, I can't remember singles. Yeah, I can't remember singles. Yeah. It's always different because of the time and state of hip hop at the time. There was a time Khuli was my favorite, but slowly kind of changed to Reason. I think Reason overall is my favorite.
Trying to kick it what you see out of 7 cheesy, but sometimes you like it that way. It's not the gifts but the sunflowers light up your face. That's why I got a painting of him just to find in your place,
because I've consistently worked with them throughout all this time, and we still work very well together. So it's not a big when we get together, oh my god, when I make hits, but we know how to make music together. We understand each other, we don't cross each other's lines. I know what he needs to do as a rapper, he expects me to do everything as a producer, and we respect each other on that level so well that our music making becomes so easy. We make so much music together. I think he's my favorite guy to work with.
I guess it's all eyes on me, and my guy body so clean. On the red carpet I've bent on it, I still brought it, I'm G. My gents on it up bench.
Yeah, I mean the conversations we've had here are crazy, because I think we've had so many sessions where I've invited artists, or artists just come here just to sit, not to record. Like I'm talking about, Tito was here almost every other day last year. Half the time we weren't recording, we're just talking about the game. So the conversations about the game and every other artist in the game that happen only in Rocky's Heroic Studio, it's almost like they have a right to speak about everybody else here. But outside there, you gotta be more careful because you don't know who's hearing you or whatever the case. You can't speak about Enzo like that. If you don't like AK's album, you really can't say it in public. If you don't like. So here, a lot of those conversations I had, like, what, I actually don't like that. Man, that guy is whack. So if this world could hear, a lot of people wouldn't like a lot of people, some of them, because a lot of honesty happens here. A lot of honesty. Jabba used to chase my dogs every freaking time. I got these 2 dogs called Drum and Bass, little Jack Russells. There wasn't a day that Jabba didn't come here and chase his dogs like 3 times around the house for no reason. He just says, "Futak." He just hated those dogs for some reason. So that's one thing I always remember about, a studio like this that had so many things outside just making music, so many memories around that. The late nights we had here, leaving here at 4 o'clock, looking out and seeing the sun coming out, that's almost like, yeah, we work, man, we do this, we really do this, so yeah, those kind of moments. It was open for everybody. I think that was the key element. I didn't naturally make it that way. I didn't say, hey, but then I think once the word of mouth got around that there was, hey, go to Raw Eggs, the comfortability when people got here, they felt easy to be. It was almost like not a professional studio, but a professional studio. It's almost like a professional studio in your bedroom, but not a bedroom studio. So you have everything you need in a professional studio, but still feel as relaxed as you would in your own bedroom. So I think that was like the main element. At the same time, just not putting any borders to anybody, you know what I mean? So anybody could come here. Even though I had my business side to it, I understand the game needed this space more than I needed the business. You know what I mean? Like, of course I wanted to make money over it, and I did make money over it, but then I understood that hip-hop needed a space like this more than I need to make 500 Rand an hour. Like, I need to have a Khuli be able to finish this album. We need to have AKA Reason, all the way to J Marley, Rico, to Nasty C's and all those kind of kids. So that availability, I think, was necessary. It's like almost like going home. Like, you can always go home if you can't pay rent wherever you are. So that was the thing that this place had. I mean, like, for first and foremost, Raw X Studios is not dying. We're just moving to another place around the same area. So it's not the end of it, but then because this space is such a special space, it started here, and I would have loved to kept it forever, but then life is life. But then this space has holds so many things, like the walls, I'm sure they got their story. So it was just a matter of moving on and paying respect to that. But moving forward, the studio will still be available, and we'll still be trying to keep the same vibe and continue our work as we've been doing, trying to develop new artists, new talent, and that's what We Make Better Music Than You is about. You know, most of the artists I'm messing with right now, the reason I've got the J Marleys and the Ricos or whatever is because of that attitude of having a platform for young artists to bring their stuff forward to me, you know, to people like me at least, you know. I mean, I am a bit of a connection to the rest of the game. If you come here, anybody could walk in here. If you're a beat maker, you got a beat, and AK could walk in here any second. Reason could walk in. You could walk out now having a song with Reason or whatever the case is. So that's what I was trying to open up to a lot of other artists that would take so long to get a beat to Reason or take so long to get a verse to whoever. But if it's here, it's going to be trusted, it's going to be accepted, and people are going to listen to it more of an open ear than you just sending it via DM or whatever the case is. So that is something I'm always going to keep, you know, the availability to allow people to reach other people. Still in Randburg. It's just going to be more of an office space. The studio is going to be in a bigger space. I mean, I used to stay here. There also used to be a house, so I'm trying to move it more to a professional space. So by latest February, maybe it will be open. We'll still have a lot of the same feel. I mean, like the wall, like the famous wall, we're going to keep that. So we're going to not move the wall, but move the whole kind of build the same wall type of situation and keep that type of feel and build on from there. So it's going to be in Randburg still. So it won't be, if you're able to get here, you still be able to get to the new one. I grew up with Slache, so I would love to just them to also have a story about this place, since I have a story about Slache myself.